to welcome me here. My name is Jenny Anchondo, and I am here as your host for another SARE National session. I personally look forward to these each and every week, and I know that a lot of you do as well. Let me tell you about Taylor Simon. She is an esteemed celebrity brand strategist, speaker, and author. She helps creative powerhouses confidently unleash their value so they can win high-paying clients without sacrificing their own lives. So it's a really delicate balance, and she works with it. You know, she has a tailor-made creative agency. That's what the agency she's the founder of. She's on a mission to help influencers, leaders, and entrepreneurs to increase their profit and performance through the power of styled to fit branding and strategic digital marketing. So she's in the marketing world for people like you and you know, impressive people who are rising up through the ranks, who are wanting to really make an impact. She's wildly passionate about inspiring others and equipping others to step into the spotlight and showcase their superpowers with confidence. Her goal in all of this and what she does professionally, but also here today, is to make sure that she helps you design the life and business you were made for. So I just think that we're really lucky to be able to hear from her. If you were here last week, you got part one, right? If you weren't here for part one, forget about it. No worries. It's on YouTube. You will be able to get the replay. So don't let that keep you from immersing yourself in today, thinking, oh, I already missed the first one. I'm not going to get anything out of this. No. You will definitely still get something out of this. So again, the topic, from stage fright to the right stage with Taylor Simon. Okay, I'm going to mute myself. I'm going to be taking over here taking notes. I want you guys to be taking notes as well, and then message me with your questions. Okay, Taylor, take it away.
Thank you so much, beautiful, for that amazing introduction. I want to go ahead and jump right in. Hello, everyone, and welcome to my presentation, From Stage Fright to the Right Stage. So I'm going to go ahead and get ready to share my screen. So as we're doing that, I want everybody to comment in the chat who you are, where you're from, and what business are you in? What business do you have? What is the business that you have? All right, so we're going to go ahead and get my presentation up. Here we go. All right. Can everybody see that? If you can see that, let me know.
Looks fabulous. I see how did you animate the sparkles? That's what I want to know. But no, that looks great. We're good to go.
Yes, so I actually have trainings on, really amping up your presentations and making it stand out. So definitely, I love making everything that I do just in excellence and just stand out. That's what we're in the business of. If you want to really make a difference and make an impact and increase your influence in any industry that you're in, if you want to dominate, you're going to have to really put in. Actually, I want you to go back to my last presentation because that'll also help you to sell with confidence. But also, doing things like this, it really enhances and upgrades your presentation and how you deliver. And so, speaking of delivery, we're going to talk about from stage fright to the right stage. All right. And so, let me move to the next slide. So, she kind of already shared a little bit about who I am and what it is that I do, all the different accolades and things like that. I've hosted several, business brunches, and I've worked with thousands of business owners across the world. And I just really am so passionate about what it is that I do. But I don't really take my success from making five figures a month and all of these other things. I take my success from, I think my success comes from me being a mom of miracle twins, me being a wife, really me truly being able to do what I'm passionate about and serving other people so that they can dominate in their industry. That's what I'm passionate about, and that's what I find as successful. And so I'm just really excited about this presentation because I'm going to share a little bit of background about what it is that I've done before I got into the industry that I'm in right now. And so, at some point in our lives, almost everyone experiences stage fright. If you haven't experienced stage fright, I don't know. We're going to be authentic. I think that we've all experienced some type of stage fright, some type of, paralyzation, whether it be on an actual stage or while we're doing a presentation, whether we are online or in a job interview, whatever that stage is, you know, it's we've all experienced those feelings of butterflies in our stomach, right? Where our heart starts racing and our palms start sweating. Sometimes my underarms get a little sweaty. Listen, it gets crazy sometimes. Like when you're nervous and just your body just responds in this way, it's like body calm down. It could be debilitating and almost prevent you from achieving your goals, right? And so before I became this rock star brand strategist and coach, I was actually in the music industry. Yes. So my idol at the time was Beyonce. Listen, I want give in the chat. I want you, if you are a Beyonce fan, I want you to give me some hands up. If you're a Beyonce fan, Beyonce was my idol, and I was literally just following in her footsteps. And I remember getting my Beyonce on and owning the stage and watching so many doors open up for me because I conquered the fright. There was this one time when I sang, and I don't know if any of you heard of this song before. It's called Love by Keisha Cole. If you know it, you know it. And in this competition in middle school, I was able to sing my little heart out and really give it all that I've got. And I just strutted on stage. And then all of a sudden, the music went out, y'all. The music went out in the middle of my performance. Embarrassing, right? Just embarrassing. And in that moment, I could have immediately ran off stage. Like anybody would have ran off stage, would have probably cried and just been so embarrassed. But in the midst of fear, in the midst of uncertainty, in the midst of the unexpected, in the midst of potentially getting booed, I would have booed at that moment. In the midst of potentially getting booed, I decided to do something brave. And so I ended up singing a cappella. I had the guts to sing a cappella, and I got the audience involved in some kind of way into my performance. And I even went out with the bang when the curtains dropped. Like after I sang a cappella, the curtains were down and I was still singing, y'all. I was like in just doing my finale, and then I got received a standing ovation. I did. It was almost in that moment, it was almost as if I had this mental music playlist in my head playing as soon as the music dropped. Like the music went out, and it was as if I was like singing this song in my head, that resounded like, "You got this, girl. You could do this, girl." Like that was singing in my head at the moment where I could have just gave up. The beat of this song in my head gave me something to sing to. And as a result, I got a standing ovation. And that day I won the competition. But let me tell you something, it wasn't always this way. Okay? It wasn't always this way because there it's kind of embarrassing. There was even a time where I froze on stage. I mean, one of the biggest opportunities that I had, where I like just froze on stage in front of hundreds of people. I was in front of celebrity judges who had the power to offer me an opportunity that would change my life forever. But I got afraid and I just froze instead. Like, I mean, not a whisper even came out of my mouth. Nothing. I froze. I was embarrassed. I was ashamed. I felt humiliated, mortified, and disappointed. I felt like I was wasting my family's time because I had invited everybody out to come and everybody was rooting for me, and they were just like, "Taylor, I know you got this. You're going to do a great job." And then I get on stage and I had this moment to hit this high note, and nothing came out of my mouth. I feel like I let them down that night. Embarrassing, right? I know. Like it makes me cringe even now. Like I last night when I was thinking about this presentation and I was like studying it, I literally started to cry because those memories of that embarrassing moment came up. I was like, oh my gosh, like my life could have been different now. But all the things that we think about whenever we have those moments where we just really just we just didn't nail it, right? How many of you can remember moments when you were on stage or, where you've gotten stage fright and you gotten paralyzed? And I'm not just talking about, stages for public speaking, or performance, but any stage that you're on, whether it's a job interview, a podcast, webinar, staff meetings, a sales call, or even doing a Facebook Live. This, we all have a stage. And so a stage is a platform or a period of a course of action. Keyword action. I want to repeat that. A stage is a platform or a period of a course of action. It's a place for you to take action. It's a place for you to show up. A stage is any place where the spotlight is on you. And it's your moment to shine. It's your moment to share the value that you have to bring as a business owner, as a coach, as an author, as a writer, as an entrepreneur. It is your moment to take action, to captivate and to motivate your audience to take action that drives results to your business. We all have a stage that we've been given. And essentially, it's up to us to decide whether or not we're going to shrink down or rise to the occasion, especially when the music of life drops. Right now, we have a lot of mic drops going on, with the pandemic, and yeah, like we have a lot of mic drops. We have a lot of like music just dropping and cutting down moments. And we have a lot of those moments happening right now where it's uncertain and things look a little bit shaky and rocky with the pandemic and with inflation and prices increasing and all of these different things. Like everything is uncertain. And it could be it could literally be an opportunity to where we could either exit stage right. You're like, I'm tired of this. I am just giving up. I'm done. Or we can turn on that mental playlist, that mental music playlist to say, you know what? In the midst of a pandemic, in the midst of inflation, I'm still going to show up and shine. I'm still going to stand on center stage and show up in the spotlight because that's where I'm meant to be. So in this presentation, you will learn tips and strategies on how to overcome stage fright so that you can dominate any stage that you're on. So get ready to ditch the fear so that you can achieve the massive success that you desire. How many of you are ready to achieve massive success in your business, in your life, in your career, at your workplace, in your relationships? How many of you are ready to show up and rock the stage? Awesome. Well, here's number one, and I want you to get your notes out because listen, if you're taking notes, I would love for every single one of you to take a picture of your notes at the end of this presentation. Send them to me, tag them to me at I am Taylor Simon. You're going to see all of my information at the bottom of each post. And guess what? I'm going to do a drawing for one lucky person to win one of my books. Okay, 7 Secret Strategies to Attract Dream Clients. Okay. So make sure you're taking notes, take a picture of it, tag me in it, and I want to see you guys showing up and learning something, okay? All right, so the first is acknowledge that they exist. So the first step is ditching your fears. Ditching your fears is acknowledging that they exist. That's the first step to freedom. That's the first step to breakthrough. That's the first step to you achieving massive success. So many people try to push their fears away and try to pretend that they don't even exist, right? But the truth is, your fears are there for a reason. They are trying to protect you from something that they can perceive as dangerous, okay? The key is to understand what your specific fears are trying to protect you from. Once you understand that, you can begin to address those fears head on, okay? So for example, let's say you're afraid of public speaking because you're afraid of embarrassing yourself in front of others. So the first step is to acknowledge that fear and then remind yourself that the vast majority of people in the audience are rooting for you. They're rooting for you to succeed. Everybody's not in the audience there to just look at you, point fingers, and just to point out all of your flaws and to boo you off stage before you can get anything out of your mouth. That's not what the massive majority of people are doing. They want to see you do well. Okay, just flip the switch, flip your brain, and think about it this way. And even if there are a few people in the audience, who might be critical of you, they don't define your worth anyway. Okay, they don't define your worth as a human being. They don't know who you are. They don't know what you bring to the table. I always say that you need to show up from a place of worthiness rather than showing up to look forward or to look for your value. Okay, whenever you show up from a place of confidence, from a place of boldness, you won't need the audience to applaud you in order for you to show up and shine anyway. You just show up and shine and give it all you've got. Okay, so you are so much more than any one presentation could ever hope to capture. Okay, number two, understand what's happening to your body when you experience stage fright. So remember when I was talking about sweaty under armpits? And sometimes your body can even stop. I've even had a moment where my knees were knocking, like my knees were literally shivering and shaking. They were shaking. I literally, like, it was crazy, and it felt like my legs are about to fall off. But when we experience fear, our bodies go into fight or flight mode. This is an evolutionary response that helped our ancestors survive in dangerous situations, right? But in today's society, in today's world, very few of us are ever truly in, hardcore life threatening situations. Not to say that some don't, but very few of us, are, especially from the cavemen from back in the day. So, why does this response still happen though? When we perceive a threat, real or imagined, I like to call it us sitting at our imagination station. What are you doing and what are you thinking about at your imagination station? When you're there, whether real or imagined, our bodies release adrenaline and cortisol. These hormones prepare our bodies to either fight or take flight. For example, your heart rate will increase so that, more blood can pump to your muscles. You will start to breathe more quickly so that more oxygen can get to your brain. And then your pupils start to dilate so that you can take in more information. Like all of these things are just happening at once. And in other words, they either prepare us to give a killer presentation and to kill it and rock the stage, or just run away and hide. So you're like you're in a job interview and you don't even know what to say. Like you forget the answer that you studied, for your job interview, or you're on stage or you're on that sales call and you're like, what am I talk? And you're talking to yourself in your head like, you need to talk, Taylor. Like talk right now, or else you're going to miss this opportunity. And unfortunately, most of us choose the latter option. We choose to run away and hide. I've done both. All of these physical changes can make us feel even more scared and can cause us to think less clearly. This is a vicious cycle that tends to happen with us when we don't recognize what's happening in our bodies. So one of the things that I really enjoy or have people to do, and I want you to practice yourself, is that the next time you have a moment when you are on center stage or you're getting ready to show up on stage, whatever stage that is, I want you, before you show up, I want you to just pause and I want you to close your eyes and I want you to feel your body. I want you to start thinking about what parts of your body are tense. Is it your shoulders? Is it your leg, your knee? Is your knee shaking? I want you to really acknowledge or recognize like what your body is doing. Are your hands tapping your knee? Is your eye twitching? Is your jaw tight? Are your fists tight? Start to really feel your body. And once you recognize those parts of your body, I want you to breathe. Take 3 deep breaths and start to relax all those parts of your body. Take a pause and then go. I want you to practice that every single time, okay? All right. The next one is to reframe your thinking about the situation. One of the best ways to overcome stage fright is to change the way that you're thinking about the situation. Rather than thinking of it as a threat, reframe it as an opportunity. I want to talk about this threat. A lot of times when we tend to think of certain opportunities that could change our lives as a threat, it's because we've probably received, we have a history of disappointment. We have a history of things just not working out. We have a history of trying and trying and trying again, but yet nothing's working. We failed, we tried and we failed again. And sometimes when we have another opportunity or a moment to try again, we tense up. We see it as a threat and we want to run away and hide because we're afraid that we might get rejected. We're afraid that we might not get the opportunity. We're afraid that we might fail. We're afraid that we might get paralyzed and freeze on stage. We tend to think that it's a threat. We have a history of those things. When our mindset is still focused or still at imagination station, think about, you being at imagination station and you are rehearsing the moments where you failed, or you're rehearsing and recycling, or I like to say you're playing dress rehearsal in your mind of a moment where you failed or you didn't make it or things just was a disaster. We don't want to do that. Who wants to play dress rehearsal in a time that was one of the most embarrassing moments of your life? When we allow our minds to be framed and focused on those things, then I can guarantee you that you will attract the same outcome every single time. Okay? And so instead of seeing it as a threat, refrain your mind to see it as an opportunity to show the world what you're made of, an opportunity to share your message with those who need to hear it, an opportunity to make a difference in this world. Most of the time, we tend to sabotage moments, opportunities, and relationships. Like I said, because we're rehearsing these negative thoughts. When your mindset is fixed on proving your worth, being worried about whether or not you're going to look good doing it, doing what you do, or when your mind is fixed on, having anxiety over whether or not you're going to get accepted, if they're going to hire you or not, if you're going to fail or succeed, what you're doing, you're amplifying those flight feelings and you're minimizing those fight feelings, which would encourage, and as a result, it's going to encourage you to ignore that phone call because you've amplified those flight feelings. You're going to ignore that phone call that you needed to answer or that phone call that you needed to make to that next investor or to, your coach or to a mentor or to a potential client or customer. It's going, those amplified feelings or flight feelings is going to even cause you to not give your best shot at an interview or to not follow up with those clients who didn't respond. And let me tell you something. I've had several encounters and moments, where I've had clients or potential clients who just did not respond. But let me tell you something. Just because they don't respond doesn't mean that they don't want to respond. It just means that you have to show up and you have to remind them that you're the person that they need to talk to, or you're the person that with the result that they need, or you're the person that has the antidote to the problem that they have. Okay. So I want you to think about what's on your mental playlist. What is on your mental soundtrack? What music of life are you listening to whenever the music just shuts off and everything is silent and things are uncertain and things are unclear and you get afraid? I want you to create a set of songs. This is an assignment that I'm giving you. I love teaching. So I'll be giving people assignments all the time. So I want you to create a set of songs that you can rehearse to reframe your thinking. I like to call this my confidence playlist. So early this morning, I knew that I had a talk today, and I actually have something to do tonight as well. I have to speak tonight as well. And this morning, I actually have my confidence playlist on my phone, and I put on my confidence playlist, and it was a song called "She's Ready." And it was like, you better show up, girl, you're ready, and I listened to that song on repeat. I even listened to some affirmations, and that became the soundtrack of my day. Because did I wake up with feelings of fear? Yes. Did I wake up with feelings of anxiety? Yes. But I decided to refrain my mindset by having the proper strategies in place to make sure that I wasn't rehearsing those negative, toxic feelings. Okay. I want you to do that every time you get ready to go to that interview. Every time if you're on your way, to a meeting, a big meeting, if you're on your way to a speaking engagement, if you're on your way to perform or whatever that stage looks like, on your way there, if you're in your car, I want you to play that soundtrack. So that as soon as you get on stage, as soon as you get into that moment, as soon as you're in the spotlight, you're going to be rehearsing that when those negative feelings come in. When you start thinking about things this way, it will change everything. It will be explosive. Are you with me? All right. I'm dropping some gems, y'all. Don't go to sleep on me yet. All right. So here's my last point: use visualization techniques. Okay. So this is another strategy. This is another great way to overcome stage fright. When we visualize ourselves succeeding in a particular situation, it helps to increase our confidence and decrease our anxiety. I remember growing up, and I just feel like, it's difficult to have a childlike mindset or a childlike imagination whenever you've been through so much disappointment, whenever you've been through delay, denial, whenever you've been through just hardships of life. As adults, adults, we're just like, we don't have time to, be imagining things. We don't have time to think about the big picture. We don't have time to do all these things. As adults, we tend to just do that, right? And we lose our childlike imagination when you think about a child. And when you think about the awe and wonder that they have, when they think about what they want to be when they grow up and how they're going to show up and how they're going to be that. So I mean, my son, he wants to be Spider-Man. And he will be like really just imagining that he's like pretending that he's Spider-Man, like, yeah, yeah, I'm Spider-Man. And he'll like just come up with this whole, she'll pretend that she's a unicorn, just flying and all this kind of stuff. And she'll just, come up with this whole picture, and I'll be like, yeah, yeah, like not really knowing what they're talking about. Like, yeah, yeah, okay. So and she'll be like, it looks like this, and I'm flying in the air and I'm doing this and all this kind of stuff. And I mean, they have such big imaginations, big imaginations. And I remember when I was a little girl, before I got on stage, before I performed, I actually would dream and I would visualize myself getting on. I would visualize how I would walk on stage. I'd be like, I would get on, I would imagine myself like strutting on stage and just, rocking it out. And I would imagine how I put up the microphone and how I move my fingers and how I move my hands and how I moved on stage. I would just imagine the audience just giving a standing ovation. I would imagine just thousands of people, me singing and performing and rocking the stage. And I would imagine myself having more opportunities. This is what I would imagine. And when I tell you, it increased my confidence so much that on the day of my moment to shine, I rocked it and I did exactly what I imagined that I would do. So take some time before your big day, before your big moment, to close your eyes and visualize yourself rocking the stage. Visualize yourself winning that client. Visualize yourself getting the yes, winning the yes before you even walk into the doors of that meeting. Visualize yourself getting an acceptance, getting hired. Visualize yourself getting that connection that you've been wanting to get connected with, that is going to change your whole life. Visualize yourself as the person that you want to be, the person with the success that you want to have. Picture yourself being calm, cool, collected as you deliver your presentation, as you deliver your value, as you deliver your message with ease. Picture yourself just being cool as a cucumber, relaxed, comfortable, confident, postured in a way where your body is standing upright and you're walking one foot in front of the other to show up like you're ready to shine. See yourself engaging with the audience and leaving them wanting more. Because that's what we want. And most importantly, picture yourself having fun. Because that's what we want to do. When we and I used to do this a lot. I used to go into moments and opportunities and just be so serious. It's like it don't have to be that serious. I mean, it is because it's an opportunity that could change your life forever. It's an opportunity where you could, be hired and have a job, or, you know, have a high paying client. Yes, but it's not that serious when we look at it from this stoic, this rigid, this very just like robotic, space. We take the fun out of it. When we're not having fun in it, then we're more than likely not doing what we're passionate about. Does that make sense? So make sure you're having fun. Make sure you're getting wild, and make sure you're getting relaxed. And here's the thing: if you do make a mistake, if you do stumble over your words, if you do, have a moment where the music turns off, listen, I remember there was a moment where Beyonce had literally fell off stage. I don't know if y'all seen that video where she fell off stage. She rolled over and she stood up. It was like, she got one of those numbers. She just came and just popped back up like it's nothing happened. And you can do that too. It doesn't matter. It makes you more human. It makes you more relatable. It makes you more personable. It makes you more approachable, because that's essentially what your clients and customers and opportunities, like being in a job interview, or like being on a podcast, or like being on a Facebook Live. Those opportunities, the people that you're engaging with, they don't want to see anybody that's rigid and stoic and all serious and like, is this person a human? They want to see somebody that they can relate to. They want to see somebody who can share their story, and your story may be even shared in the most tangible way, like you stumbling over your words, like you forgetting something, or like making a mistake. I like to say that our mistakes are our best teachers. We learn the most, like the greatest lessons from the mistakes that we make. It's not about being perfect, it's about having progress, it's about being present, and it's about showing up as you were tailor made to be. So the next time you feel uncertain, or if you're experiencing a season where the music drops, or the lights turn off and fear creeps in, always remember that this is your moment. This is your opportunity to play that mental playlist so that you can dance to the beats of your own drum, and so that you can rock the stage. When you overcome stage fright and implement these techniques, I can guarantee that so many doors will open for you. The right stages, the right opportunities, the right connections will be attracted to you, and you will achieve the success that you desire. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me for my presentation. I'm just really excited to even share this opportunity for you to take action, and for you to show up and shine, and for you to see if you need help. with those moments where you feel afraid or you feel like you lack the confidence that you need, or you even need tools and strategies in your brand so that you can show up and shine in your industry and dominate in your industry and actually achieve the massive success that you desire to achieve. So if you would like to be a part of a part of my new life and business transformation incubator, it's called Unshakable You. It's basically a space for life and business transformation. It's for influencers, leaders, creators, coaches, speakers, experts, and service based business owners and entrepreneurs who want to be equipped to have unwavering confidence, steadfast commitment to their goals and dreams. And you'll be given tools, courses, and strategies on personal and business development. And essentially, I'll basically teach you how to successfully navigate through any challenge so that you can achieve your dreams and goals, so that you can launch, monetize, and scale your own brand with confidence. Okay. And so I love taking people from unknown to unstoppable. And my desire is to turn business owners into warriors who dominate in any economy, in any industry, without sacrificing their time, money, or things that matter to them most. Okay. So listen, if you want to live boldly and if you want to show up courageously, this is your time to be a part of Unshakable University. Thank you so much.
Taylor, that was awesome. Thank you so much. Everybody, I hope that you enjoyed hearing from her. If you had any questions that cropped up, just about the story she was sharing or about her expertise or how she got to be where she is today, be sure to post them in the comments and I will be sure to ask those. But I do want to start off with this, Taylor. When somebody works with you, like let's say, what does that look like? Is it a one-on-one situation? Is it they sign up for a course and follow the course? What does that look like?
Yes. So right now I have one-on-one opportunities, coaching opportunities, and I also am in the process of getting ready to launch my Unshakable University and my Be Tailor Made experience. And so it's a plenty of opportunities for you to work with me, whether one-on-one or within a group atmosphere. So it just kind of depends on your level of comfortability and your budget and where you are in life.
And then how does that work? Is it a certain like if you do one-on-one, it's one time and then you send somebody out with a plan? Is it 8 weeks? Is it a year? What is that? And like frequency and stuff like that. So somebody can picture, okay, this is what that would look like.
Absolutely. So I have a 6 month coaching plan and also a 12 month. And so, and if you would like to continue, you can of course do that. But I also have like just one time coaching opportunities if you want to just work with me for like 1 hour. But I have a 6 month and also 12 month opportunities for you to work with me as well. And we actually create a strategy on how you can execute your goals, on how you can really show up confidently, and also provide strategies and tools on your branding as well as just business development as well. So we kind of tend to customize what your coaching opportunity or strategy moment would look like depending on your needs. You'll of course go through an assessment, and we'll just kind of just do a consultation call for me to just get to know you, get to know what your goals are, and what your greatest strengths and your greatest weaknesses are, and to kind of help me to fill in those spaces where I can truly tailor made an experience for you so that you can really um, achieve your goals. So yeah.
When you talk about branding, I think people have different perspectives of what branding means and what it entails. What does it mean to you?
Yeah, so branding is essentially who you are. Branding is the core of your business values, vision, and your voice. Your branding is basically what people say about you whenever you leave the room. That your branding is the experience that you bring to a space. It's your client, it's everything from your client experience. It's not just, those intangible things, but it's also tangible visual branding elements that are collected with that as well. So this can be everything from your brand colors, it could be everything from your brand messaging to your brand voice to your logo design to the script and the font that you use within your branding. All of those different pieces culminated together creates the overall branding experience. Okay. And so I like to say that your branding is the meat of everything. It's what you need to be to really be successful as a business owner before you start to market. If you don't have your brand developed in a very strategic, clear way, that truly stands out and that's tailored to what it is that the value that you bring and what it is that your audience needs, then your marketing will almost be an unsuccessful. You need something to market, and that is your brand. Whenever you think about Coca-Cola, the first thing that comes to mind is the color red. The first thing that comes to my mind also is the script font, with Coca-Cola. And you think about the commercial of the polar bear. So all of that is branding. That's brand development. That's they have a whole team that creates a strategy on how to brand themselves in such a way that they will never not be on your mind. Because what we want to do, right? We want people to have us on their mind at all times. So that when we're marketing, so that when we're promoting, it's a no-brainer because they trust our brand. They rely on our brand because we've been consistent with our brand marketing or our brand not our brand marketing, but our brand messaging and our visual branding online or in person. And it just that's essentially, I can go on and on and on about it, but because I've been doing this for about 10 years. But that's essentially what branding is and what brand development is. So if you need the visual side as it relates to, your rebranding, logo design, color, fonts, brand development, that's a thing. But then there's also brand strategy where we come up with your messaging, with your brand voice, all of those different things, and how you can even show up as a personal brand as well. I help with that too.
Yeah, it's interesting because I think, when we were talking about this, sort of shining on the stage and having confidence, sometimes um, people will maybe take note of, gosh, I don't really have my branding down, or I
Yeah.
feel like I wrote this book, but I don't feel aligned with the cover, or,
Yeah.
and so it can take away from that confidence on stage. I think for other people, they don't care. They're like, it's fine. I don't care. That's another person's thing. But
Yeah.
for people who are thinking, gosh, I love my business. Like I know that I'm good. Let's say they have a business teaching voice lessons. Like I know that I am the best person to send your kids to. I can get you from zero to hero in no time. But that person's saying, I'm not really inclined to understand, how to put the graphics together, or like, I don't know how to pick colors. It's not my thing. Where should that person start when it comes to branding?
Absolutely. So the whole brand development process as it relates to the visual branding, it basically we come up with all of that. So kind of depending on what your brand story is, what your brand messaging in is, will determine what types of colors that we'll use. So whenever you think about color psychology, different colors have different meanings. They evoke different emotions and feelings, and so colors matter. Just saying, oh, I'm going to use this color because it's my favorite color, it's definitely not the most effective way to go about, choosing colors and fonts and things like that. So you have to think about who your audience is, what the demographic is, what are their likes and their dislikes, what do they need, all of these things together, which is in the brand strategy and brand development process, are important whenever we're thinking about colors, whenever we're thinking about fonts, because it's like easy to say, well, I'm just going to choose this color. But what if your audience, what if you choose the color, pink and orange, but your audience is not all female, so you have to really think about the science as it relates to branding before you start to create the more creative, or more, I think I like to call it the fun side of stuff, because it's fun choosing fonts and colors and all of those different things. But do the hard work, the foundational work first. Think about who your audience is. Think about, what their age is, whether or not you have to, and think about what your core values of your business is. Think about what some descriptive words that you would use to describe your business or your brand. That will also help to, if you're, so say for instance, for an example, if your business was edgy, if it was, or if it was modern, you definitely want to make sure that those colors and those fonts and even the photography that you use reflect that. So everything has to be consistent. Everything has to be consistent and engage a specific audience in order for it to land. So that's what I'll say for as it relates to where you need to start. So yeah.
Yeah, that's great. You really have an expertise in this because so many people they know what they're doing in their business, but they don't necessarily know how to put it out there, how to shine on stage. What's your
Yep.
advice for somebody who is, and I don't want to say on stage, not everybody's going to be on stage, but maybe they are giving a presentation like this, or they are
Mhm.
speaking to, a group of their colleagues and they're doing a presentation and they realize midway through it is not going how they planned. Like they realize I'm speaking too fast. I'm slurring my words. I'm sweaty. I'm awkward. Do you have any like mid meltdown reset tips?
Yes, absolutely. And you mentioned that, not everybody's necessarily on like a stage for public speaking, but I like to say that anybody can be on a stage. That could be a stage. Your stage can be on a phone call with someone. A stage is a place for you to take some sort of action. And so, if anybody was in a situation where they were just spilling all over the place, and they were just kind of like in a moment where they were almost like in a midlife crisis on stage, I would say to pause. I don't think we pause enough. We think that we have to just keep talking and just keep going. A lot of times when I used to do that and I would be talking so fast, sometimes I would even talk so fast that I would forget what I would be saying and I would like kind of lose track of my point and it'll just be a mess. But one of the tips that I'll give you is to just pause. It's okay to pause, to breathe, to say, I'll even say to just to say, "Hey, I'm let me retrack a little bit. Let me go back to my notes. Let me go back to my notes. I got a little bit ahead of myself and smile. A smile goes a long way because if you're like, if your face is showing fright, your audience will grow to be less comfortable with your presentation. You're more than likely get some internal boos, some silent boos, and so just pause and then start again. It's okay to pause and start again. Pause and breathe. We feel like those moments where it's just like silent is awkward and we feel like we need to just fill in that space all the time. Like, well, but it's okay to pause so you can think about your next point and even think about the technique that I shared as it relates to feeling your body. What is your body telling you? Are you tensing up in your jawline? Let's relax. Let's relax those shoulders. Let's move a little bit. I'll even say, just for some, just to kind of break the ice throughout your presentation, create moments for your audience to speak. Create opportunities for them to talk because when that happens, that gives you some time to relax a little bit, to think about what you're thinking about and to just kind of retrack and get back on track to the next point. So yeah.
I love that tip about giving the audience a chance to speak or respond or raise your hand if you've ever been up here on stage with me also nervous or like raise
Exactly.
your
Get
hand.
them involved. Get
Yeah.
them engaged in what it is that you're saying so that you're not up there just looking like, "Oh my gosh." Say, "Hey guys, like I know you've been through that before." Get them involved somehow so that they can feel more connected to you. It's all about connecting with people. Whenever we allow ourselves to retract and get, just kind of stay in that fright state, we're disconnecting with our audience.
Totally agree. So were you always somebody who, and I know you had the ebbs and flows of, you talked about that personal story at the beginning and we were all like, oh gosh, Taylor,
Yeah.
no. But
Yeah.
generally speaking, were you always somebody who was good in front of people, good in front of a crowd? And if not, how did you overcome that?
Yes, so honestly, I have since the age of 2, I've just been singing and just been very vibrant on stage and on any platform that I've been given. Um, but of course, when life happens and things happen, I remember the pivotal moment where things kind of got a little bit anxious and just challenging and uncertain for me was when I made the transition from the music industry to the industry that I'm in right now. I mean, it was scary because I was so used to being on stage and singing and performing and that being on stage that way. But then the right stages came when I discovered that I was made for so much more than music, but to do things like this. And so when I got on the stages that I'm in right now, in the beginning, I mean, scared out of my mind because I was uncertain. I felt like I was unqualified. I felt like I hadn't been in this industry for a while. So I retracted and I would shrink in moments where I had to be on a sales call or follow up, with the client. And so that was a really hard space for me. But one of the things that I would say to someone who wants to strengthen their confidence as it relates to getting on any stage or being on a platform where they have a moment to take action to influence others to take action in their business is to be consistent. And practice makes perfect. Whenever you are consistent, so say if you are a public speaker, I would say to challenge yourself to do a 30-day speaking challenge where you are showing, I like to call it 30 seconds of courage, where you are showing up on Facebook Live and you have 30 seconds where you are being courageous and you are promoting your business or promoting, something that an offer that you may have or an event that you have coming up, or even just promoting yourself or just talking about if you are a lifestyle blogger, you can just talk about something that you're passionate about or something that happened, like your favorite food, something, and just do that for 30 days and watch your confidence grow, watch the frights go away and the fear go away, and just watch you increase in just greater courage and greater confidence. And so you could do different things like that, but over time, I always say confidence is a muscle. You have to strengthen it every single day. And for years I've been doing that, and of course I do have my moments, but I have my those strategies and techniques that I use every day to remind myself of who I am and that I was made for the stages that are brought to me. So,
You were made for the stage, and we are loving it
yes.
today. I want to hear about your miracle twins. How do you work the schedule throughout the day with having the twins and that responsibility of just family life?
Yes. So, right now, as we speak, my twins are taking a nap. So, they're taking a nap, but every day and I homeschool them as well, but every day is always something. It's always something new. But I take it one day at a time, and I find little pockets of joy in every day that I get to be with my babies. And one of the things that I really take pride is creating a lifestyle for myself in my business so that I can do the things that I'm passionate about, but I also have time for my kids. And so because of the work that I do, I'm able to work from home or work in Mexico, which I did, when my husband and I went on vacation, or work in Dubai. I'm able to work at anywhere that I am because it's all online. But I also get to make up my own schedule. I get to work, my own hours. If I want to work 3 hours a day, then I can do that. If I want to work 5 hours, then I can do that, or 2 hours. So I kind of structure my schedule around some things that my kids may have going on. Like today, my daughter had dance class this morning. And so we went to her dance class, and afterwards I came back and we did their homeschool for an hour. And then after that, I got ready while they were playing. I got ready and then I put them down. And so I'm not perfect at it, not by any means, but I definitely just take every day as an opportunity just to really put my priorities in place. My family, my husband, and my kids are first, and everything else will just kind of flow. I don't ever want to give leftovers to them at the end of the day. That's why I like to build a lifestyle that is around my values and is kind of like around me focusing in on what matters to me most. So
Totally. My daughter's napping right now too. I was kind of hoping yours would wake up early and pop in for a
I know.
hello, but that's just me.
I know.
So
Girl, they have done that before. They have done that before, and I would be like, "You know what? Come on in." They'll say hi.
Totally. Yep.
They'll want nothing, they'll want a snack or just want
Yep.
something like that, but I love my kids. They were born at actually 25 weeks. So I
Oh,
was admitted in the hospital. So here's why I call them my miracle twins. I was admitted in the hospital at 21 weeks due to an incompetent cervix. I was in the hospital for a little bit over a month. Just we were praying and hoping that, they would stay alive because the doctors were saying that my kids had a 5% chance to live. And so we were hoping for 34 weeks. That didn't happen. At 25 weeks, they came at 1 pound apiece. I mean, it was crazy, crazy what happened. My husband thought that they actually died because when they were born, they put them in some Ziploc bags. And because their skin was so brittle and they didn't have anything big enough to put them in because they were so small. And but that journey didn't end there. They had to be in the NICU for 100 days total, and every day was like one step at a time, one day at a time, and just finding joy in the moments. We had moments where my daughter, she was actually we did skin to skin for the first time, and she just like ended up losing her, like just stopped breathing. Literally just stop flatlined, stop breathing right there on my chest. And the doctors had to resuscitate her back to life. I mean, we went through so much, but for me, by the grace of God, they ended up making it to the other side. We made it to the other side, and they have no sicknesses, no diseases, none of that, and they are miracles. And so, yeah, I do this all for them. They are amazing. They are my babies, and for the moms out there who've gone through hard things and are who working moms, I can imagine, I not imagine, I know what you're going through, but you can definitely follow your dreams and believe in miracles at the same time. So,
oh, I love that, Taylor. That's so beautiful. They're so precious. I just looked at your Instagram. Your family's so cute. I have to ask you, of course, obviously you work in branding, so of course your Instagram's gonna be so cute. You guys have got to go look it up. It's I am Taylor Simon. But do you only post pictures that relate to your branding colors in order to keep it consistent, or are those all like how do you work that? We've got like 1 minute, but I had to ask
yes.
how you do all that.
I do. So I like to keep things consistent. And, in order to create brand recognition or brand awareness, in order for you to get people more aware of your brand or recognize your brand immediately, creating consistency with those colors are important. So the next time you see Taylor, you're going to see these colors. Next time y'all see me, you're going to see these colors, and or you may not see me, you may see the colors, and you may be like, that must be Taylor Made, or that must be Taylor Simon, because you recognize my brand colors. So yes, I do use those brand colors consistently throughout.
I totally need that. My Instagram's it's a hot mess.
Ah,
But it's fun to be there, right? Taylor,
yes,
thank
it
you so
is.
much. Tell everybody again. I just shouted out your Instagram, but I don't know if that's where you want people to go. If you guys didn't get the QR code, is there a certain website they should look for?
Yes, so you can go to my website at tailormadeca.com. That is my tailor-made creative agency, where we do all things digital marketing, brand development, website design, social media marketing and management, all the creative bits. We do that there. And so you can check us out there at tailormadeca.com. Tailor-made CA, like California, but it's not California because people thought it was California. And you can go to my Instagram at I am Taylor Simon. Or if you just want more information about me, want to connect, you can send me an email at info@iamtaylorsimon.com.
Taylor, thank you. Much love to the twins when they wake up from their nap.
Yes.
I sincerely enjoyed it. I think mine's about up from the nap too. She's gonna bust in here any second if I'm 1 minute
Yep.
late. Okay, you guys, I hope that you enjoyed this session. Here's the deal. If you missed part one, that was last week with Taylor, you don't want to miss it. The YouTube link is up right now, and that's up there for the replay. You can watch that one. The replay for today's session, if you want to send it to somebody or rewatch yourself, will be up by Wednesday. Also, for more information on Sarah's programs, visit sarah-national.org, and I will talk to y'all soon. Bye,
Don't forget to
everybody.
send me your notes for you to win my book. Yes, and tag me in them.
Send the notes, guys. Bye-bye.